So this was the beginning of political and economical decay, and which lastly led to the fall of the New Kingdom and drifting off into the Third Intermediate Period. So we see that they're more and more in a crisis. They lost focus on foreign politics, so Levante, Nubia, Libya, they're definitely lost. And we see that the Egyptians got poor. The gold and copper supplies were not sufficient anymore. And why weren't they sufficient? Because all the important trade routes, they went through Palestine or through Nubia, because all the goods either came from Central Asia or from Central Africa. And when they lost the control over those important trade routes, all the ways there were blocked. So they couldn't have any, they couldn't have any supply on these valuable goods anymore. And we see that the Egyptians got poor because when we look at the graves and the tombs of that time, we see that the tombs and the coffins, they were not anymore filled with gold. Instead, everything was painted with yellow color because they didn't have any gold anymore. But they wanted to pretend that they still had gold and that they still were wealthy. So they just used yellow color. Additionally, the economy was at the brink of collapse. So we have inflation, there was no temple building, basic foods got very expensive, and as I said, the tombs were not enhanced with gold, but painted with yellow color. And because the Egyptians got so poor, what they did was they started grave robbery. This is why when we today go to the Egyptian tombs and visit them, that there's no gold, there are no treasures, there's no gold anymore, because everything was robbed away by those grave robberies. Because they were so poor, they needed something to survive. And therefore they took all the treasures of the kings in order to sell them and have some money. And this was forbidden. So in the New Kingdom, there was death penalty when you do grave robbery. But when the Egyptians got poor, this had no meaning to them because they just wanted to survive. The only thing that could be preserved were the coffins of about 50 pharaohs from High Priest Pinudium II. From him, we know, especially know about this period of political decay. So with the fall of the New Kingdom, also the Hittite Empire went down. I already talked about the Hittite Empire going down through the Sea People. And this happened around 1214 to 1119. And when the Hittites went down, so we see here when we look at Turkey and Anatolia, the Hittite Empire also split into several city-states and local kingdoms. And then with the fall of the New Kingdom as well, we see a new kingdom rising. It's the Assyrian kingdom. It got more powerful. And this Assyrian kingdom, this is just a really short, to mention them really short. The first king of this kingdom was Tiglath-Pileser I. He conquered Armenian, Anatolia, Syria. He plundered Babylon, so he could kind of extend the Assyrian kingdom. But after his death, this kingdom also declined. But this is important to know when we look at the later history, so 800, 700 BC, from where the Assyrian kingdom came from. But generally, we see that in this time, around 1100 BC, that this was a really unstable political time. There was no definite power, a superpower in the Middle East, because all the great powers, they fell and they split into those local kingdoms.